Welcome to Two Humans Talking, the podcast where we talk about what it really takes to stay healthy in a modern, fast paced world. I'm Tiffany Simms, your burnout recovery expert and holistic wellness coach. And today, if you have ever felt lost as you start to age and you're like, what is perimenopause? What is menopause? Or maybe you're aging and your family members are really just struggling in your health and you're looking at them and going, I don't want that to be me, but I don't really know what to do. Today's episode is going to be for you. I am so excited to bring you Linda. Linda is a certified nutritionist and a online wellness coach, and she's going to share some really good juicy nuggets with us today. And so, Linda, will you share with the people who you are, where you're from, like what makes you you?
Thank you, Tiffany. Super excited to be here. I'm Linda Terjesen. I'm the founder CEO of LTLTE, stands for Learn to Love to Exercise. I always do this when I introduce my company name. And I'm a certified nutritionist, online health and life coach, and also a certified positive psychology coach. And I work primarily with women 50 and above. So going into that perimenopause, menopausal stage. I almost said menopausable, and then into postmenopause, right? And so that's me, and I'm based in Dana Point, Southern California, and I work with women all online, so they are located worldwide.
Isn't that so cool to
Yeah,
be able to make friends around the globe?
it's
What a
it's
time.
amazing how technology has changed the world, really.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, it boggles my brain sometimes that like you and I would not be having this conversation right now if
right,
technology didn't advance, and
right.
that this podcast would not be existing, and we wouldn't be out, I wouldn't be able to be changing the definition of healthy and people's relationships with that word and what it means for themselves
Yeah.
without without this modern world that we live in. I would be so
Yeah.
confined to the little bubble. I think it's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's so amazing how we can meet, interact, and work with people all over the world and connect via Zoom and, Facebook Messenger and however it is, and just have conversations and see each other on camera and all that stuff. It's fun. I love it.
Fun. And so we welcome you. Welcome everyone to the show. We're happy you're here. And I'm just gonna start. Linda, what does healthy mean to you?
So it means a lot of different things, but I would say the main thing is to have energy and to really feel great. Because I work with a lot of women that they come to me, they want to lose weight. And a lot of them have goals on a certain number and so forth. But in the end, it's really about how they feel because we all want to feel good, right? And the number on the scale, that's just a bonus. If you get to where you want to get, that's great. But it's really about how you feeling and how are you being able to live every day. Do you have energy to get through the day, which goes into sleep and all of that, but it's really about how are you feeling,
Yeah.
feeling
So
about yourself from the inside out, right?
it's so true.
Yeah.
And is that different for you than maybe did you have a previous definition of healthy, or have you always been so enlightened?
I haven't always been healthy. I was when I grew up super healthy. My mom made us very healthy organic food, that everything was cooked, made from scratch. I grew up in a small town in southern Norway.
That's
So talk
cool.
about technology changing. I'm from like a whole other planet. And I was healthy throughout my childhood, and then I got into teenage years and gained a little weight, and then it kind of went on and off. And then in my early 30s, I was almost 20 pounds heavier than I am today at 56. And I was uncomfortable. I didn't have a lot of energy. I didn't feel good about my body. I didn't fit into my clothes. I remember having these jeans sitting in my closet, trying them on, and I'm like, there's no way. Whoever stands on my tummy, there's no way I can zip them up.
Mm.
So I was just really frustrated. And I remember having a doctor. Now, I don't know if the doctors would say this nowadays, but she was like, you've gained weight. And I was like, you know, And so that was like my wake up call. And then I was exercising already, but it was more about the food. And I thought I was eating healthy, and I clearly wasn't. And I also didn't have the right exercise strategy, but I didn't feel good about myself, about how I looked from the inside, the energy. And then I just slowly started changing things, asking for help. And it took me years. And then I just kept learning and learning and getting better and better and feeling better and better.
Isn't
So
it
it's
funny?
changed.
Isn't it funny how no matter how fit we are, if it's not done in the right way, we still
Yeah.
feel miserable in our own bodies? Like you
Yeah.
achieve the goal, you have the look. Everyone thinks like your life is great because on the outside you have that cover,
Right.
that
Hmm.
fitness cover model, that
Yeah.
look that everyone's craving.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
deep down inside, like you're just dead and numb and like can't get out of your own head to enjoy
Right.
life.
Yeah. And it's really, it starts on the inside, right? Because again, we want to feel good. And that starts with how are we feeding our bodies and how are we sleeping and all of that. And yeah, you can look good from the outside and you can be slender, but it doesn't mean that you have healthy insides, that your blood work results are healthy and
Hmm.
all of that. Yeah.
Or that you have a healthy relationship with food or exercise.
Right, right. Yeah.
Like I I share with my clients all the time and my audience, like I always have this like picture of a triangle and I have healthy on one, fit on another, and skinny on the other corner, and that
Hmm.
they're not the same. Like you can be
Right,
skinny and not be healthy or fit. You can be
right,
fit and not be healthy or skinny, and you
right.
can be healthy, holistically healthy, and not be
Yeah,
fit or skinny.
exactly.
You can have them all, but it takes a little bit of intention and
Yeah.
one step at a time of like making sure your foundation is secure.
Right, right. And I actually don't even like the word skinny. I prefer lean because again, skinny doesn't represent good health. It's more, are you lean? Do you have some, visible muscle in your body? Because lean is very different from skinny because there's the whole like skinny fat and like you said with skinny, you're not necessarily healthy on the inside.
Would you say, in your definitions, would you say there's a difference between lean and fit, or do you see them as the same?
They're more similar, because if you're lean, you are likely to be fit because it's hard to be lean without being fit. So they would be very similar, I think. Yeah, and it's kind of like when people say, "Well, I don't want to lose weight, but I want to tone." And it's like, well, if you want to tone, you want to lose body fat, and to lose body fat, you typically will lose weight. So tone, if you're toned, then you're typically lean and you're
Do you
typically
ever just want to pull your hair out sometimes where it's like how did these thoughts even become part of the normal everyday societal like vernacular?
yeah.
I want to be lean, but I don't want to get bulky. Like, I've never met a human who just accidentally got bulky. Like, that takes a lot of gosh darn work.
Yeah, yeah. I have women that are like, well, I want to, work out, but I want to lift weights because I bulk up real fast. And I'm
He's
like,
like, what does that even mean?
yeah, yeah. It's like we're not working on bodybuilding competitions here.
And so then I'm like, where did this even start? Like, where did that, like, those words and those phrases even come from to get
Yeah,
programmed into women's vocabularies? Because if you actually talk to a professional in the field, like everyone knows that those like that stuff doesn't exist.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, how did the everyday woman get convinced that by being healthy and moving their body or lifting weights that they would just become this like She-Hulk? And it's like
yeah. It,
somewhere
it doesn't
we
happen
broke
that
women.
fast. Yeah, it's kind of like gaining 20 pounds overnight. you know, that doesn't happen.
It
Same with
doesn't.
like getting bulky overnight, it doesn't happen. It takes longer time. Maybe you feel like it happened overnight, but realistically, how long did it take? It
Yeah.
took longer. Yeah.
Realistically, you just weren't paying attention along the way. And one day
Right,
you get
right.
like this moment of like, oh,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
stretchy pants don't fit anymore. Crap. How did
Right,
this
right.
happen?
Yeah, yeah.
It's all those red flags that are going off that we are either conditioned to ignore,
Yeah.
or that we've just decided we're us being crazy or dramatic, or we just need to
Hmm.
push through. And in
Yeah.
reality, our body has been sending us signals the whole time of like, hey,
Right.
things aren't right. Things aren't right. I really need you to pay attention. This isn't
Yeah.
working for us. And we're just numb to it.
Right. And that's the whole thing with I tell my clients when we first start working, a lot of this is about mindset. And it's about building awareness. So mindset is really the biggest thing. The second one is nutrition, and the third thing is exercise. Even though my company is called Learn to Love to Exercise, is about so much more than that. And typically, when women want to improve their health, they go for exercise first. They hire that personal trainer. They're all about exercise, exercise. And it's like, you can do that. I did that. I focused on lots of exercise, but I wasn't eating that healthy. So the exercise wasn't helping me that much. So the nutrition is more important for sure.
I love that. How
Yeah.
did you learn that for yourself? How did you learn? What was the day? Like, was it a day? Was it a period where you were like, Linda, listen, Linda, we have got to learn to eat in a different way because what we're
Yeah.
doing isn't actually helping us. Like, what was that?
Yeah. So thanks for asking, Tiffany. There's a few different periods actually. First was when I moved from New Jersey to Florida. And I'm in Florida and it's all like bathing suit, beaches, shorts, tank tops. And I was like, oh, I'm a little overweight. And I need to get healthier here. What can I do? So then one day I decided to join the gym. And I
Mm,
decided, I went in there, I joined, I signed up, and I started going, and I just got consistent with it right away. And I just kept going. So that was like the first piece, exercise. And I was definitely eating healthier at that point than I was in my early 30s. So this was like in my early 20s. And I've been going consistently to the gym for over 33 years. And I'm 56. So
congratulations.
that was
There's not a lot of people who can say that, and I think that needs some clapping because
thank you.
that's commitment to
Yeah.
you feeling your best. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And again, the gym does make me feel good. It makes me feel strong and confident. And that's why I kept on going because I just focused on that feeling. How do I feel after the gym versus not going? And hey, I feel great. So I'm going to keep going, whether I'm motivated or not. I'm going to go and the motivation will come. So that was like the first thing with exercise. And I also got my mom started in the gym around that same time, and she was 57. So a lot of my clients have really been inspired by my mom, who unfortunately passed almost 2 years ago now. But she was the same. She went consistently 5 or 6 days a week. I got her started with weight training, and she really enjoyed it. She met a lot of friends, and she met, different boyfriends there when she was single, and she had a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, she was a
Find
hot
people
mama.
that share interests that you enjoy, not ones that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
just as
she was
hard
a
as you
hot
could be.
mama, and she got really strong, and she gained more confidence. And she always said the gym was my lifesaver, and it was somewhere for her to go. And it was just like a normal part of her routine. So like when COVID happened and they shut down the gyms, I could tell like on her mindset, like it was very changed. And then luckily they opened the gym pretty quickly in Florida. So I kept traveling to Florida and staying there. And she was concerned about going in and getting COVID. And I was like, well, I'm here, I'm going. So if I go and I get it, you're going to get it. So you might as well go to the gym. So we went, put our mask on and whatever. And we went and we worked out. And, it helped change her because she got back to her routine. But yeah, she was amazing. This was
Well,
her last birthday.
if you're not watching us on YouTube, you can head on over to Two Humans Talking on YouTube and check out Linda's mama. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, you guys are like a spitting image of each other. You could be twins.
Well, sometimes we get asked if we were like sisters, and my mom was like, ah. But
Oh
yeah,
my God,
on my
my mom and I are
website,
the same.
LTLTE, it stands for Learn to Love to Exercise. LTLTE, I have videos of her dead hanging with her legs spinning. I mean, yeah, she was amazing, amazing.
Did you ever get growing up? Everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're your mom's little twin," and I used to get so frustrated because I'd be like, "Ugh, ew." Did you did you go through a stage where you were like offended by it, or have you always loved that?
We didn't have that growing up. It was more like in the later years when, we were hanging out and we were like friends because when I grew up, she was my parent and it was a different kind of friendship. But then as we got older and we became more friends and I would visit or she would come to visit, we would go out, she would meet my friends, I would meet her friends. Then it was more of like, that friendship, that closeness. So it was different growing up for sure.
Isn't it funny how we get older, the gap between us and our parents is becomes less and less relevant?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like after a certain age, all of a
Right.
sudden,
Right.
like the people that you associate with have like this 20-year span. Because I
Yeah.
turned 40 this year, and I
Okay.
am like cannot handle the stupidity of 20-year-olds anymore. And like, but like 50-year-olds and stuff, other than like catching off guard, be like, how old are you really? Ah, man, 50 doesn't look the way I thought it did. Thank God. It's so different as we
Yeah,
age, like
it is.
how those
It is.
numbers
And
just
I
don't
think
matter.
as you get, as your parents get really older and if you need to take care of them, then the roles kind of even reverse more. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. And when I turned 50, I felt amazing and I still do. Um, so that was the first period of the exercise. And then in 2006, almost 18 years ago, I lost my only brother to a sudden heart attack. He was only 45 years old.
That's
Heart
tragic.
disease runs on my family. He was on medications. He was doing all the right things, he thought. He went to the doctor, had an EKG 3 days prior to passing away, took his meds, monitored his blood pressure at home. He did all the things that was recommended by the doctor, but the doctors aren't always giving you all the information, and he really should have been to more of a heart specialist kind of doctor and had some other help because stress was the thing that really put him over the edge and his diet wasn't the best. So after my brother passed away, I really took a look at, okay, I've been exercising, I got that down, I'm consistent, but I need to change the routine, get more efficient and effective with my exercise routine. And I really need to focus more on the nutrition. So I had just started college courses, and my first college course that I enrolled in was a health course. So I went and I got, you can see behind me, like certifications, degrees in kinesiology, certified nutritionist. And I just went and I learned and applied and just changed a lot of things. And I wanted to help others because I believe that if I had known then what I know now, I could have saved my brother's life. And I was like, I don't want this to happen to other people. If I can help them, if I can educate them, if I can be there for them, support them,
Clear up
give
the
them a
muck.
lots of accountability, all of that, and give them a whole program. So then I got really deep into the nutritional aspect and worked on all the mindset, stress relief, sleep, all the little things that plug in because it's not just one or two things.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to
Thank you.
pause on that for a second because and like really talk to the listener right now. And like what Linda just shared is that like she knows she felt this weight of like if I had known this stuff, I could have saved my brother's life. And that can be heavy.
Yeah.
But the thing I really want you don't need to be in that situation to feel better and better than how you feel right now. And
Yeah.
everything Linda just shared was a skill or a lesson and then practicing over and over again until she got it
Mhm.
right for herself. And so I really encourage you to take that part of this message of, okay, if I feel like crap right now, what's something I need to learn or let
Mhm.
go of that I'm doing that isn't serving me? But like, what do I need to go learn and practice to get me
Right.
to the next step? Like,
Yeah.
we all get to do that. And so I
Right.
really encourage you that if that's where you're at, take that piece of it and be like, okay, I can change this. It doesn't have to be this way.
Right. Right. Yeah. I love you for sharing that, Tiffany, because it is very important to just kind of stop and think about what's working, what's not working, how are you feeling, and who's helping you, and go get, second opinion, third opinion, go ask for more help because there is someone out there that can help you, you
Yes.
know? Yeah.
I even go as far as to say is like, if it doesn't feel right, go find someone else. And I don't mean that
Right.
in the way of like, go find someone to enable all of your bad habits because you don't like being uncomfortable with the changes that you're trying to make.
Yeah.
But I know in my own story, what I was told to do was not actually what helped me get healthy. It was me turning off everyone else and learning what
Yeah.
worked for me, and
Yeah.
then learning that there was just a lot of misinformation. But that was
Oh,
20
yeah.
years ago. And
Yeah.
now here we are, it's 2024, and a lot of people are becoming aware that like the checkout workouts, the checkout line magazine workouts and meal plans aren't the sustainable lifestyle. Those are like
Right.
really quick blitzes, like a 30-day blitz. That's not like what we do
Hmm.
forever. And so
Yeah.
like go find someone who understands what you're struggling with and can hold that space for you
Right.
through the messy because it's gonna
Hmm.
be messy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
messy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important to get help and really have enough support and have that accountability. That's what my clients always say. What helps them the most is the accountability because life happens. There's a lot of distractions, especially with technology, and it's hard to stay on track. And you want to get on track, you want to get that momentum going, see the results, feel better, and then it's like, okay, now I've achieved this, I've maintained it, and now I can go and do it on my own.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
always say that I think it's really important for people to know that the way you lose weight is the way you maintain your weight loss.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
if you are doing all of these things that you have to force yourself to do, and you
Right.
don't, and you're taking pills and you're drinking shakes, and that's all you're doing, and you're just
Mhm,
militantly complying to this program, but it's
mhm.
not incorporating, and you're like, I don't want to do this forever,
Right,
that's when you start to gain the weight back. So the way you lose weight is the way you maintain. And
right.
I didn't know that for the longest time.
Yeah,
I just thought I was
yeah,
broke.
right, right. Yeah, and having it be that sustainable process because the more you lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, I mean, that's really what's going to hurt your metabolism and also your hormones, right?
Hmm.
Because a lot of women that really struggle with menopause, they've had a lot of ups and downs before then. Lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, and they've been on a lot of restrictive diets. They maybe haven't had healthy foods growing up. And that's also, I see that with like autoimmune issues and whatever, when I learn about people and how they were fed growing up, it's like, yeah, that's why all of this stuff is going on because sooner or later it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah. And then it's a whole lot harder to work uphill when
Right.
like take care of it now because the longer you wait, the harder it
Yeah.
does get.
Yeah.
Not impossible, just takes a
Right.
lot more effort. And so,
Yeah.
Linda, like as we're wrapping up, I would love for you to share like the first step or maybe the first three steps that
Mhm.
you truly believe that someone who is struggling in who's over 50,
Mhm.
struggling in menopause right now, or like
Mhm.
getting into that stage and they feel like nothing they do is working, that
Mhm.
this is just the way it is and this sucks. Like, how do you encourage them to go get started?
I mean, personally, I think the best is to hire a health coach. And I say this because when you go to a doctor, and this happened to me, the first thing they want to do is to put you on medication because they get paid a lot to prescribe medications. And the more you get on all these medications and HRT and all the different hormonal medications and prescriptions, there's a lot of side effects that come with that. And those side effects aren't going to help you over time. And then if there is another medication that you truly need, then those side effects are going to play into the other ones and it can get messy. So I really encourage you to get help from a health coach that can look at the overall picture. Are you exercising? Are you moving your body? How are you feeding your body? What are you consuming? Foods and fluids. How is your sleep? How's your stress level? What are your habits, the mindset, all of that stuff? Because it all plays a big role. And I've been a part of like Facebook menopausal groups and whatever. And what I noticed with some of these groups were really depressing And the only thing women were doing were complaining, but I didn't see anybody taking a lot of actions. And I was working hard on like giving little tips and this and that. But then some of the groups like throw you out because you're trying to help. And it's like, I'm not asking for you to like work with me. I'm just giving you some like free tips here, follow this. But getting that help and working on the positivity, because that's very important too, because if we're always negative and we're always talking about menopause is horrible and this and that and all these things happen, it's like we're going to attract those things to us, and we don't want that. We want to attract the good stuff. And menopause doesn't really have to be that bad. It wasn't that bad for me. It was mainly hot flashes and night sweats, and I was on a very short timeline of prescription medication. Then I was like, I really want to get off of this. And then I got in and I found a natural herb instead that helped me. That has helped a lot of my clients. There's a lot of natural products out there that you can use for menopause instead of going on prescription medication. And again, all the side effects that come with those. And those side effects can also affect like natural vitamins and supplements that you want to take. So it's important again to look at that whole picture. And the doctors typically are not going to do that, because you'll go in, they prescribe you something, maybe they'll say, oh yeah, well, it's time to start exercising and change your foods, but they don't give you any kind of plan. And it's not about a meal guide or a meal plan. It's looking at how do you eat holistically and breaking that apart and giving you that education around it, which is what I do.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So, so good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I think that's valuable. Like, I'm gonna go back and re-listen to this episode. Linda, how do people connect with you if they want to further a relationship with you or just see what you're doing?
Yeah. So at Fit with Linda, Fit with Linda on Instagram. That's my, you can connect with me there, or you can go to my website, LTLTE, Learn to Love to Exercise, LTLTE. And you can find information there. There's some resources there. I have a free guide I would love to share, Sustainable Fat Loss and Menopause. It's a training I did. I would love to share that with you if you're
Yes.
interested. You can connect with me either through my website or on my Instagram, and just DM me the words menopause, and then I'll get you that free training.
Awesome. Go DM Linda the word menopause and get that training. And who knows, that might be the piece of information, the puzzle piece that you've been missing to unlock this next chapter to your health and life. And so, Linda, thank you so much for being here. And with that, I will see you guys next time. That's Two Humans Talking. Bye.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you.